And we're live. Okay, happy Thursday. Is another Thursday here and no code ops for our community live show. Today, our guest speaker will be called Fortman. He's a consultant for software and Airtable. We're all very excited, about the new release from yesterday. Airtable is giving us all these new features, so I'm sure we can talk about that as well. But today specifically, we will be talking about how to automate and create systems for your content, especially like social media. So without further ado, let's go and meet our guest into our metaverse. That's where we usually meet every Thursday. Right, so this is what it looks like. We already have some people waiting. Okay, so we're here. I was just starting the YouTube for everyone. And so, yeah, I was just saying, Cole, it's very, very nice to meet you. I know that many people already know you from LinkedIn. I mean, you have a great following, but you're from Chicago. I was just saying, just giving a brief introduction. You're a consultant for software and Airtable mostly. But for those few people that don't know you yet, do you want to give us a quick overview of who you are and what you do and what you love? I know you love cycling, but
Yeah, totally. Hey everyone, my name is Cole. I am primarily an Airtable and software consultant slash developer. I've also started using the NoLoco a lot recently, so I love that tool, and definitely know my way around like Zapier, Make, all those tools as well. Primarily, I build portals, help with automating processes, like I'm sure we all are familiar with, like invoices, contracts, all those things. Those boring manual tasks we all hate doing. Outside of all that, I also am trying to, I guess, within that, I'm trying to build a agency myself to a full agency, trying to build a team here. And then outside of all that, I also like cycling. And I've also recently started doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So kind of just love trying new things and seeing where it takes me. So excited to be here and share my journey.
that's amazing. I'm not surprised it took me a little bit of chasing to get you booked for a speaking gig with all the amazing things you do. So that's fantastic. And you've seen yesterday Airtable released a bunch of whole new exciting features. So we can definitely have a chat about that as well. But specifically today we were gonna talk about how to systemize and automate your content. Is that right?
Yes. So here, let me make sure I got everything all pulled up here. Good to
Fantastic.
go.
And if you're thinking of operation, for example, how do you think this, for example, what we're gonna be learning today can help on a day-to-day kind of no-code experience? I guess I think it will be super helpful for me because, like, as a community manager, I have to think of all the content and like it's great to learn new ways on how to automate things. So, yeah, just
Yeah, I love to. I can't. I'm excited to share my whole system and how I kind of am able to use these tools to make content people want to see. Is there a way to like share screen
sure,
or
sure. So
how
if
do
you see
I?
the bar at the bottom
Oh,
next
there
to
we
the
go.
emoji, yeah, screen share.
Perfect. All right. Let me bring that into this window here, and then let me know when you can see my screen here.
Yep, I can see it.
Awesome. So here we are inside my social media base. Uh, there's a few tables here that aren't currently being used too much or for like other projects, but primarily I have tweets, LinkedIn posts, keywords for YouTube, and also YouTube videos that I'm planning on putting out, as well as Twitter followers, topics that I write about, personas for my audience that I'm trying to target as far as like with my content. And then this is just for a side project here, so we can ignore that. But basically, my day to day, I go inside my interface, and here we have. So I have pretty standard, I guess, like fields like tweet, schedule, and hashtags. And so I have buttons like new tweet, delete tweet draft, and if I want to tweet this now, I can also do that. And then every time I get a new follower, it is logged in the database too. So I have all the followers right here, and I can see all the information that is relevant to them, as well as any audience stats. Oh, it's wrong interface.
It's a lot of followers.
Here, let me. Oh yeah. uh, Here, 1 second. So where is it? Oh, here we go. So with Twitter followers, I have different views here. So if their bio contains certain
Hi,
keywords, I'll
Lizzie.
put them to a different view.
I know Lizzie. She's awesome. Community manager at
Oh
Softer.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Lizzie.
yeah. She's great. And then so I got like things like CEOs, people who are also in the no code space, people who have 10K followers or more, people who are also in Chicago, so I can do some IRL meetups with them, as well as Airtable, Softer, Zapier, and then that way I can just kind of get an idea of my audience as far as like what types of people are following me, and then I also have some topics here. So there's like the normal things that I always write about. So like systems, no code, everything from like that to traditional development to even just regular entrepreneurship and LinkedIn growth. And then I've got audience personas. So as you can see, I don't really tweet too much. I'm mainly a LinkedIn guy mostly. And then I've got, so here we have like main personas that I write for. So like agency owners to other no coders. And then I haven't put in any pain points right now. Like this is kind of this is not my like main dashboard that I use. The other dashboard I use is actually built in NoLoco. Let me go to that real quick. I wanted to show off the Airtable because of the new features, but let me 1 second.
What's the feature you're most excited about that they just released?
I think being able to add people to an interface without adding them to the base itself, that's probably the biggest one for me, because as you know, like you don't want everyone to see everything, and also being able to limit what people see based on like criteria like email, or if they're already added to their account. That's huge for me. And then also just I feel like that update, this newest update with Airtable was just a game changer for me, because it's like it was just so many things that we've all been asking for so long,
It's always nice when a big company listens to the users.
Yeah, right. It's like we're not here just screaming into the void. All right. Pardon my internet speed.
Oh, no worries. I mean, it's been a bit crazy these days. Like Webflow's been down for 2 days now, like going really slow.
My last meeting I just got off from Zapier was being a little bit slow as well.
Conspiracy theories.
This is gonna be a much better. This is pretty much my main like dashboard that I use day to day. I kind of moved everything from, this is built in NoLoco as well, and then just using Airtable as a backend. So whenever I write a new LinkedIn post, I can create a new LinkedIn post, write out the body. If there's a picture with it, I can attach a picture, schedule it out for the post date, and then I will assign a topic and an audience to every LinkedIn post. And then I actually just started using a tool called Shield app, which is like a LinkedIn analytics tool. So that allows you to bring in more data around like content and analytics around like what content's performing best. So I'm going to start working to bring in that and integrate it with my LinkedIn posts so I can see how and what is resonating with people.
That's great. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it in the chat here for everyone. Shield up.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So that way I'm able to see. So like whenever I assign, so let's look at this one for example. So like this post right here, this is the one I just posted today. The topics are automation, Airtable, and systems, and then audience personas are agency owners and consultants. And also tells me how many characters the total post is in case I want, if it's under 140 characters, it'll get posted to Twitter as well. If it's not under, it won't get posted. But this way, by assigning it a topic and audience, I'm able to later on see, all right, this topic really resonated with this audience. I'm going to continue more of that, or vice versa. If they don't resonate, I'll do less of that. So using like this as a system, I've really been able to hone in on what messaging and what types of posts my audience really enjoys. So I have a normal. Also, I want to preface, I haven't really been posting too much lately. I've been kind of slowing down, just reworking a bunch of internal things. So I've been a little bit busy with that. But I'm going to start getting back on the posting again regularly. I've got an automation that in my tasks, if I go to the tasks dashboard or missions, that's what it's called. But I already did it for this week, so it's not in there now. But basically, every single week, it gives an automation that says write content for this week, and then I'll just spend 2 hours, like either on Sunday or Monday, writing out and scheduling out all my content, usually on LinkedIn. I'm trying to get better at Twitter and YouTube, but LinkedIn is just my main bread and butter right now. So
Yeah,
that's kind of my
LinkedIn's
main
great.
system is like once a week, just 2 hours, just writing all my posts for the week. And then from there, seeing what went well, what didn't go well, and then just continually optimizing.
And what's this platform you're using right now?
What was that?
What's this platform that you're using right now with all this
This is
scheduling?
no loco.
No local. All right, that's
Yep. So this is another front end builder. You can connect to Airtable and other tools like Postgres or Google Sheets. I really love No Loco as a tool. I think they really offer a lot of things that tools like Softer or Stacker just still aren't really quite there on.
yeah. I hadn't seen
So,
it before. It's the first time I see it. It looks really nice.
oh yeah, it's great. And like you can do so much like with like buttons, for example, like it's just you can really get granular with the visibility and also like depending on like if like a field is empty or not, or you can, because with Softer you can't really limit as much with visibility. If like say like a field is empty, you can't say, oh, don't show that field if it's empty. Whereas with No Loco, I can do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So and then for YouTube, or let me go to blog. That'll be better because I haven't really been doing too much YouTube stuff. So here's all my blog posts that I've got planned out after doing a bunch of keyword research. And then when I click on one for here, there's some stages. So not ready to publish, and then published. And then also I can, any images associated with the blog post I can put right here. And then, so here's all the information associated with the blog post. So every time I write a new blog post, I assign it a tool if it's talking about a tool. And then since I have the logos for those tools, I can click generate thumbnail, and then it'll actually talk to Banner Bear and generate a thumbnail based on the title and then the tools being used. And then I can hit publish blog post, and then it'll actually get published to my Softer site. And
That's
then this is
great.
all,
And did
like
you
I said,
do
hosted in Airtable.
right? And did you connect all of these things, or did you do it manually, or is there like something that when you look on, you're like, oh, this is what I want to do, and they suggest a type of automation, or did you build this?
So like when all of you see here is pretty much just me playing around. It was kind of like, oh, I wonder if I can do that, and then I tried to do it, and then
That's
I either
great.
did it or not. Yeah, really for me, I think most of my like best developing just comes from like curiosity, just like, okay, I wonder if that's possible, you know, and then trying to see if it is, trying to trial and error through my problems, trying to, I really feel like no coders in general, or like maybe just developers in general, are the best Googlers of the world.
Yeah, definitely. We have another Airtable consultant here, Julian, and he says in the chat, I love Banner Bear. I like the process bar.
Oh, really? Julian's here?
Yeah, Julian's here.
Oh, Julian, what's up? I know Julian.
Carl, how are you?
How's it going? Ça va?
Ça va bien.
I took 2 years of French in high school. I can't remember too much anymore, but
I'm happy to
always
be here
refreshing.
to meet the community.
Yeah, it's great to have you, Julian. Yeah, he recently joined us.
Likewise.
And yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do, like trying to unite all the great minds for the greater purpose of helping people.
Sweet. I guess like that's pretty much my whole content process from a 30,000-foot view of everything. So
Cool. Well,
And
Julian, did you have any questions about that, for example? Like, I know you're maybe more into that space. Is that something that you would use, or what's your kind of perspective as an Airtable consultant, for example?
Mm, I use Airtable to automate my LinkedIn publications, yes, but I stay inside the Airtable. I don't use a front, yeah, and I use a really simple system, really, uh, right now. So I, I have nothing special to say because it's just um, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think, having different systems, obviously, whatever works best for you. And I guess everyone kind of builds
I,
the
I
system
would
that
say
makes
like
sense.
the big part is automation.
Yeah.
Usually when you want to publish at certain time of the day, and if you need to think about publishing every time you want to publish, it's like it overload your brain, and sometimes you're not even here. Maybe you have your family, you have to go with the kids somewhere. So I know that I wanted to publish every day at 7:55 in the morning, and at that time I am with my kids at school. So I needed an automation to to publish it at that time. So that's why, yeah, Airtable is great to, yeah, structure your data, but automation, if you want to publish at a certain time or a lot during the day and don't want to think about it all the time, this you need them. So
How long does it take to build that? Like, for example, Cole, if you were to show us, like, now from scratch, building an automation for a post, would that be doable?
Like to build an automation on how
Yeah,
to,
just
like, yeah, that'd be super quick.
just to show, like,
Let me,
folks, like, in
yeah, the
practicality what
interface
to
is
do.
only is takes some time, but the automation is really really fast to make.
yeah, let me
Do
hop
do
back
you
in
use
Airtable.
Zapier? Do you use Make? Or what do you do? What do you use?
So for LinkedIn specifically, I use Make.
Okay.
So I guess for like this particular example, I'm just going to choose Twitter since I know it's native to Airtable.
Yeah.
So we're going to add a trigger here. And then for me, I like to go with when a record matches conditions, just so I know for my own sake. That's kind of. And then we're going to go tweet and then conditions when the post date is today and the status is waiting to be tweeted. So those are usually my
Oh,
main
cool.
criteria for if a tweet is ready to be tweeted or not, which I haven't written any tweets recently, so it's not going to show any for examples. And then for the action, we're going to choose Twitter. There we go. Post tweet. And then select Twitter account. Got my Twitter account in there already. And then message will be the tweet. And then enter. And then the hashtags.
Can you show us the table where this is pulling data from?
Yep.
Or unless it's like super secret. I don't want to get into your
Oh
personal
no,
stuff.
there's like no tweets in there at all. So
Just to see the
there's
fields
nothing
and
in
make
there.
sense how it. Yeah, okay.
I'm just for some reason I just really prefer LinkedIn to Twitter. I need to get on my Twitter more, and I do actually. So I have some more fields here, as you can see, like favorite count and retweet count. So one of my other automations I have is every single week Zapier will look at all of my tweets in the past week and then pull how many like likes, retweets, favorites, all those things, and then I have another view here called most engaged tweets. So this is all my past tweets, and it's ordered from how, like which tweets were the highest engaged tweets. So I can see, all right, this is my number one highest performing tweet, or like here's like my top 10 highest performing tweets. Now I know I can probably write more of these, and that'll only help grow. Whereas if I do something down here, it's not going to be as effective.
We can have a whole new event on that tweet number one. A whole new talk. I just saw. I just quickly
Oh
read
yeah.
it. So yeah, that sounds interesting. Really cool.
And then I also have a calendar view.
So did you say it's Zapier that kind of keeps tracks of the performance of your tweets, or do you manually have to input like how many people reacted to that? And
Oh no, if I did that, I would pull my hair out.
yeah,
I think that'd be a lot of manual data to input. For me, I just have a Zap that on a weekly rolling basis, it'll do a search step, so it'll find all of the tweets that happened within the last 7 days, and then only those tweets, and then it'll find all of the metrics for
that's
those tweets
super
that I'm looking for.
interesting. Yeah, that's super great.
So that's how I've been able to automate my content creation side of things. And then the only thing that I think, I guess the last frontier in my mind is automating YouTube, where you can automate the posting of YouTube videos, but for some reason you cannot do a custom thumbnail. So that's kind of like thumbnails are like what brings people into the video.
Yeah.
So that's one of the few things I think is like the last kind of tricky parts to figure out in the automation space.
Yeah,
and there's a few tools
really
I know of that can help with that, but I just wish it was a native to Zapier or native to Make step.
If they're listening.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And did you notice an increasement in your growth, like in your social media growth?
Definitely. I mean, ever since I started actually using and implementing this current system, I've been able to, like, during the month of, I think, June or July, like one of those, I think it was July. Like, I can't remember which feature it was, but a new Airtable feature had just come out, and I was just writing about it every single day. And for like 2 or 3 weeks, I was actually like, I was at a 1-to-1 ratio for like every single LinkedIn post I had. I would get one meeting booked to like a sales call, basically.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow, this is really working. This is crazy, like I'm never going to stop LinkedIn ever again.
Yeah, LinkedIn is great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's see. Let's open up to the community here. Does anyone have any questions? It's great to see you, Rachel. Oh, there's a lot of people that joined us. Hello. Hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hey. Hi, Abdel.
Hello. I just come to say hi. So, quick visit.
Great to see you. So we were just saying, like, we're just wondering if people had any questions here in regards to the talk that we just had, or if you wanted to just express your excitement for the new Airtable features, you can do that as well. We were just talking about that at the beginning of our session.
Lots of changes in interfaces.
Indeed. Did positive, or did you like the changes?
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
It created a lot of work this morning, though. I've had to go and fix a lot of client stuff.
Yeah.
I had a lot of like buttons that I already set, like navigation buttons in my interfaces, and I was like, oh, now I gotta delete all these.
Don't need those anymore.
Yeah.
Cole, you were mentioning on your tweets, you said you were getting a call almost per tweet. What's your conversion rate on those? And I'm specifically talking about Airtable because I'm the same thing for Airtable freelancer. So what's your conversion rate on those calls that you're getting in, and have you seen any trends in the industry over the last 12 months?
Yeah, great question. So for me, most of it comes from LinkedIn, not Twitter, I guess. So as far as LinkedIn, like conversion rate, I think it kind of changes. Like I'm also, I claim to not be a salesperson. So I'm like, I think that's my biggest struggle as far as like, I know a lot of other developers struggle with sales as well. So I think that's probably something that I also am always working on. But
I'm a good salesman. I'm a terrible accountant.
I mean, it's there's always something to be improved as far as skills go. But I think to give like a number, I would say 15 to 20%, because not all those leads are going to be great quality leads. Sometimes they're just someone who has a quick question, and then it's not going to be like a whole project.
Yeah. So what kind of trends have you been seeing in the last 12 months in regards to Airtable, and what clients are looking for, or industries that are seeing a larger adoption of the tool?
Yeah. So usually as far as like trends, I would have to say when I'm getting when a client or potential client comes to me, they're either already using Airtable, but they don't know how to use it, or they're like, all right, we know for a fact we need to move to Airtable, but we have just no clue how to navigate that whole process. That's pretty much the best like position, I guess, to be in as an Airtable freelancer or consultant, because when it's like a client they've already got a lot of stuff built out and it's very custom to them, it's kind of hard to jump in where they're already so far developed, and it's hard to get all the context for what everything does, what everything is used for. So I'm seeing, I guess,
great, excellent point. So how do you approach those when you get those clients we've been using Airtable for 8 years, it's got 500 bases and 80 integrations, and I've maxed out my fields on half my tables. Please fix it. You're going to spend 3 months in discovery.
I mean, I guess for me, I honestly just don't even consider taking on those projects if it sounds like a project that's going to add that much stress to my life. I'd rather take on a project where I know for a fact I'm going to hit a home run every single time. Like I'd rather hit 4 home runs per year than 20 singles or 20 doubles. I see Julian's nodding his head. He totally agrees with me.
Yeah.
I have a question from YouTube, from Kevin Thomas. He says, could Cole show a quick overview of the actual Zapier setup for reporting tweet performance?
Let me see here. I think I got Zapier open in another tab. Let me just jump to that Zap real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm logged in. Okay. I'm logged in under my client account right now, so it's gonna take a second.
No worries. This is great. Like these kind of events, I love doing, like showing actual workouts and like practicality, like so that people can learn a new skill. So this has been great today. So Cole, very grateful.
Just
yeah,
Claudia, regarding the last updates on the interface.
Yeah.
I know that you said that, but I think that Airtable is not an Excel on steroid anymore. It's an app builder.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the direction that they want to take. I'm not that, like, I don't really like that strategy, because my clients are like small and middle-sized company, and what they like on Airtable is that it's a simple tool, really clean, not too many options, and the fact that you add more and more features to fit maybe the big company requirements. I don't know. I don't know. It's harder to use it more and more. So we'll see. I think I will keep on working with Airtable, but maybe my clients, it's going to be harder for them to like the product. Most of them come from Excel sheets,
Mm-hmm.
and when you switch from Excel sheet to grid view, it's like you say, it's easy, it's the same. So we are not scared about the tool, and you say it's Excel on steroid. Now that they put on the same level data, automation, and interface, it's not Excel on steroid anymore. It's an app builder, and it's a completely new state of mind. And for small company just wanting to switch from Excel to Airtable, and for them this is a real revolution.
Mm-hmm.
I think the conversion won't be as easy as it used to be. This was just what I wanted to say.
Do you think because the interface looks a little bit more complex now, or
Yeah, more and more. They release feature every week. I mean, I would when I started in 2002. Sorry, 2000.
wow, you were a force year.
They were releasing just a few feature per. I mean, one feature, two feature per month, not more. And you could feel that they were building something for makers to make the life of makers easier. And right now, you can feel that they make a tool for like bigger company and to fit more the requirements of the end user more than the makers. I would say this is my feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then it's really interesting. Sorry, Rachel.
What are the main changes? Because I missed the very beginning of the meeting. Is there like a video or something anyone could share, or is it a short list?
There is a blog post and a video that is showing what is going to happen in 2000, like in the next 12 months.
Yeah, I shared it in our as well in our forum on Discord under the Airtable news. You can find the video there.
Okay.
And just at the beginning of our event today, Cole was just walking us through like his system on how he automizes his social posting. So we just tapped onto the features very quickly, like, hey, what did you like about the new features? But we didn't have a full-on talk about that, or we didn't show them. So you haven't missed that part. Yeah.
Okay. I actually did have a quick question. You said that you automate your YouTube posts, and I was wondering where you host your videos, assuming that you make them in advance and then you would keep them somewhere and have them pulled in automatically. I wondered where you did that.
Yeah, so right now, since most of my videos are pretty short, like I'd say under 10 minutes, I like to just keep them in Google Drive. And so then in the automation, it'll say, there's a link to a Google Drive field in Airtable. And then part of the automation will be like when a Airtable or like when a record matches conditions in Airtable, it sends a webhook to Zapier, and then Zapier catches the webhook, finds that record, and then takes the Google Drive link and then takes that video from the Google Drive and then uploads it to YouTube. That's the current strategy I'm using, but also I've not been very active on YouTube, so I'm sure there's probably a better way to do that.
Yeah. I just wondered if there was, I don't know, a nifty trick. I don't know, because you can keep your videos in like Wistia and all kinds of stuff. And I'm a bit unfamiliar with it because actually I work from like Adobe Premiere and Premiere Rush and stuff, and then I kind of just like move things over directly once they're saved in my drive as well. But I know there's probably like cool solutions behind the scenes. So that's actually interesting. Do you use Google Drive because you're a Google Drive person, or is it because Airtable likes it so much? What a ridiculous question. What a ridiculous way to
No,
question.
hey, there's never a ridiculous question, because there's other people out there that are probably wondering it and they're not asking it. So
well, you're welcome.
Right.
For me, I consider myself an Airtable person over everything. So I do like Google Drive and I do love Google. If Airtable had like larger storage or file limits, and they also, I'm not sure if you saw the update about like the hosting files in Airtable. They kind of made a whole update to that. So they're not trying to be a CDN or a CMS as much as other users are trying to make them into one. So that's the only thing I would consider for moving everything into Airtable, I guess, to answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the other thing, the stats,
Zapier.
I have yeah. So actually, I mixed up my platform. So I have a Zap and Zapier for new followers. So every time I get a new follower on Twitter, that's when it creates the new follower record in Airtable. But the actual stats is in Make. So let me share my screen here.
Mm-hmm. It's great how these kind of tools kind of combine with one another. Like whenever you need to achieve one solution, you have to like, they work flawlessly very well amongst themselves. But yeah, it's nice to see there's always like, if somebody's working on something on Airtable, there's always going to be some, you know, connected to that solution, a zap or a make thing. So
yeah, so here is what I was using to get the metrics. So it'll watch when a record is, or like when a tweet records, not the tweet itself, but when the record of the tweet is like a certain age. So when it's like when it reaches a week old, it'll find all the tweets that are in that like week old category, and then create separate records for every single tweet, and then, or not create separate records, it'll just pretty much separate them out and then update or create new records for the tweet metrics. This is also an older version of that, so I could probably use some updating. And then let me see for the LinkedIn. Post to LinkedIn. There we go. So here's LinkedIn. This one's super easy. Just 3 steps, pretty sure. And as you can see, this is my most used steps. And this one's, 3 steps. Super easy, super simple. Search records, create text post, update record. So it's finding all of the records that are in the post queue, and then creating a LinkedIn post with these records, and then updating those records saying that they have been posted. So, and then let me go to the new follower automation. So here's that same thing, very simple. When a new follower happens, it creates a record in Airtable.
And how does it track the performance?
So that one was the this one right here. So this one's actually not currently live. Since I haven't been using Twitter that much, I kind of turned it off a while ago. But it'll watch all the records. So when that record is a certain age, it'll find all the tweets and then only get or only list the tweets that were in that age group, and then create a record for that's supposed to be an update step, but it'll update the record or for the prior record with the stats. So that was a mouthful, but we got through it.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Rachel?
Yeah, just quietly biding my time before I let loose. So you use Zapier and or Zapier and Make interchangeably, or is there like an intentionality between which one kind of do which things?
Yeah, so it's weird. Make, I've found, has a lot more options for almost everything across the board. I really wish that it was like, not that. I wish that Zapier had those same options. It's like, I don't know what the logistics behind the scenes looks like to make that happen. If it's probably difficult or not, I'm not quite sure. I'm not in that lane as much. But for me, since every single automation platform has a limit to how many automations, I think it's just better to kind of alleviate, rather than putting all the automations in one platform, than just more to spread them out across. So for things that I do need, like those really custom things that only Make allows, like tweet metrics or things like pretty much like tweet metrics is one of the main options that Zapier does not give you. Same with like other steps. I think actually Zapier just added that list item, or like the list support, so that now you can do like line items, but before they didn't have that. Whereas with Make, I'm pretty sure they had that for a while. So I'd say like the main reason is that certain platforms have more to offer in terms of like the actual actions and triggers. So that's why.
Do you feel like, because I know that previously someone made the comment that like the thing about Zapier, the differentiator is just the scale of how many apps you can use Zapier with, and then Make, it sounds like it has better functionality within the apps that it offers. Would that be correct?
I've not had to integrate, I guess, like I mean, for me, I think the maximum amount of apps I've ever integrated using all those tools have been like 10 plus. So I've never had a opportunity where, or I guess now it's considered opportunity, but like where I was looking for a tool and it was not on Zapier, but it was on Make. There's been very few instances for me where that's happened, but also like that's because I work with, I guess, a very specific like niche, like so agencies and consultants. So they're not using, like if you're working with a very specific niche that had a tool that did need that, like if like it was not on Zapier, but it was on Make, then that would be a use case for that. I'm not sure if I'm kind of rambling here. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
I think it might be the other way around, because like most people might be looking for a solution in Make, but then that tool is missing over there, and that's why Zapier is still like a solid choice because of the offer, like the amount of tools that you can connect with. So I guess both of them, like performance wise, both great, but what you can run into is a lack of tool in one of them. But most likely Zapier is the one that has the most automations right now.
And no one ever says that they love Zapier. No one ever talks about Zapier like it's a tool that they just like adore. It's always like a choice that, it's like, oh, I'm just used to it. Or, well, I needed to use this particular thing and I couldn't do it anywhere else. So now I have a Zap for it,
And the raise that Zapier love, we're going to send them some hearts. We love you, Zapier.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry, Zapier. We used to do it all the time. It's like, we do, I promise.
They need an affiliate program. Well, also, Airtable just launched their affiliate program.
I would say most people start with Zapier because it's easier. Because it's quite expensive. And after a while, you start to maybe, in France, 99% of the consultants, they switch from Zapier to Make because it's more flexible, because you can copy paste branches, like all branch of automation in Command C, Command V. But it's really like it changed a lot. So
I also prefer the visual interface of Make.
And for like more simple automation, usually we use Airtable automations. So for simple one, Airtable automations, and for more complex advanced, if you want to connect different tools, we usually use Make. And I got many projects where my goal was to switch Zap from scenarios from Zapier to make it cheaper, and that's it. So in France we use a lot, Make a lot, way more than that.
What's the build you're most proud of, I guess, or like what's the one case, like if you were to recommend Make, Julian, I'm very curious, like if you were to recommend Make, what's the one thing you would say, I used Make and it solved my life?
No, it's another state of mind. When you're on Zapier, it's like, it's really linear. It fits well with Google Sheets because it's one line, you trigger something, you do something. But when you're on Airtable, you have links one to many between one table to another one. And so many times you want to select a record, look at all the link records from another table, and do stuff with this other this link records. And Make is made to manipulate this type of tool, because you use a lot of search modules. For example, you're gonna say, okay, show me all the records linked to that record, and you get directly all the record linked, and then you can do stuff with that record directly. And so it really fit well with database structure, and when you want to go through all these tables and do stuff with the data. I don't know how Cole think about this, but this is what I like. And what I am proud of, I don't know, but for example, I know, when you do e-commerce, for example, e-commerce are really complex databases. And so you want to get the client, and then the order, and then the items, and then you want to to get data from the variant and the product. And so to do this type of complex stuff, Make is really great because you get the module and you can extract all the data from the all the information from your orders, and then you can structure them in Airtable quite easily. So yeah, when the object and the information you get from your different tool are complex and organized as a database, I would say Make is great, and this is the tool to use.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can
Interesting.
use also, I think, if you like open source tool, you can use N8, and I think it looks to work the same. I think I've never used it, but people told me that it works kind of the same.
I'm curious to know because we have also 2 developers in the room. So like, yeah, there's 2 developers in the no-code space. Have you, like, I'm talking about Fraser and Gabriella. Have you guys used any no-code tools? Like, do you use them? Yeah, what's your experience with no code? I mean, this is probably like taking a different direction, but I was just like curious to see, because one of the main, when you first approach the no code world, at least for me, it was like the usual tools that Airtable makes, Zapier, or Webflow for me originally. But yeah, I was just curious to know whether you coders ever use no code.
Well, I certainly do. I use it for all MVPs. I use Builder to put together the first version of everything across the board, every new project. I don't do anything in code that's tentative or high risk, so that they can get it up quickly and see what it looks like and experiment with it in real time. I use Builder, Builder, BILDR.com.
Mm-hmm.
And on the server, I use Node-RED, which is a server-based flow visual tool, which again gives you the low-code side of things. So I love no-code stuff. I mean, nothing like it. My one question, or not question, but sort of observation is, when I see all these Make and Zapier flows, I don't see any fail-safes. So if for some reason the Zapier goes down partway through something that's being sent, how do you know it didn't finish? Like, that's one thing in code you can do. And I've had a couple of people actually didn't know a new customer came online because there was in the server farm that surrounded Zapier, they didn't get to the request that came through. And as a result, this client, who was rather upset about it, I don't know why he was so upset, wanted to know how they could fix that. And I didn't see any way you could.
There's other companies, like a great switchboard company that's working on that as well. I'm not biased at all, but yeah. Cole, were you gonna add something to that?
It was more just talking about Make again. Like, I think, like, it's a very little thing, but I think like when they rebranded from Integromat to Make, I think it kind of hurt them a little bit, because now every time you search for a Make tutorial, it gives you like how to make shoes or how to make a pie, or like, it's like
stupid branding.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot for SEO, for like from now on.
I still type Integromat when I want to search for anything.
Yeah, you have to. You can't.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But Fraser, yeah, I'll probably DM you after, like, if you need support with that. I think we can help you out.
I mean, in Zapier and Make, you can find like if anything stop or if there is an error, you can find exactly the spot. You get the error message and you can fix it in 5 minutes. I mean, most of the time, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
In Zapier, it's in the history. You get you see where it succeeded and where there is an error.
Do you get a push notification when there's an error?
Yeah.
You get an email or something sometimes.
Cool. We also have another question from Kevin Thomas on YouTube. He says, has Cole or anyone else have any experience or thoughts on Tonkean? Has anyone ever used Tonkean?
Tonkin.
Or Tonkean, sorry, my bad.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Nope, I've never heard of it either. So yeah, every day there's a new no-code tool like mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally, like part of my.
Oh, I think I've lost connection with everyone.
It's a full-time job to be up to date.
Yep.
It truly is, but that's also the importance of like communities and like having somebody always sharing, like even us being here today and just like brainstorming, or that's something that I would love to do. Just like there's no the one tool for everything. There's always going to be a problem, and there's going to be different types of solutions, and there's always going to be great people that are happy to help and troubleshoot that solution, and the tools are just a way for us to get there. So yeah, that's my two cents on that. All right. Well, if no one else here have any questions, I think we can set you free, Cole.
No worries. I'm yeah, sorry if I came a little prepared. I just got out of all the meetings, so I wanted to get as much as I could prepared, but my first meeting was at like 8 a.m. So I was like, all right, it's like I had like 2 minutes in between each one.
No worries. I mean, I think it was great chat, and great, great to know you.
I have a question.
Oh, off you go, Jay.
Hi there. This is a little bit more philosophical, but I'm a data scientist. I've been looking for a job for these last few months, constantly on LinkedIn and other sites. And I've seen how people are automating their postings on LinkedIn, their postings on Twitter, on every social network. And I'm wondering, at what point when you as a user are navigating a social network or one of those sites, you're actually spending time or interacting with real people? At some point, when do you say, hey, this social network is mostly bots, there are no real people, and the interactions that we are supposed to be having as human beings are not real interactions at all. They're just something to boost content and you become part of an echo chamber. Any comments on that? Thanks.
So the question is that you're afraid we might all turn into androids, or what's?
Or just automations talking to other automations?
I'm mostly talking about the effect on society that it could have, that when we are having talks online, we are talking to other people. We're not actually talking to other people. We're just talking to a bunch of algorithms written for engagement.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think since I'm still the one who's like actually crafting and writing that LinkedIn post, it's like it's not a robot writing that post. It's just a robot posting it.
Yeah.
So I'm still like, whenever someone comments on it, I'm the one who's writing the actual replying to them in the comments back, not a automation. I do think that when you when you see people who are just over automating everything, so like they just have like auto DMs and auto replies to every single thing, that kind of does feel a little bit disingenuous as far as like creating a real connection with someone or like establishing a relationship, or like all the constant LinkedIn DMs where it's just like, hey, name, I see you're in company, or I see you're in X group. I think I could help you out here. It's like those, I think, are the bane of my existence. Like that is, if I don't know, like, and those are all automated. So I do think like people can misuse it in a way that it kind of, not, and by misuse, I mean like it's not like they're, because I'm sure it's getting results for them, but it just doesn't feel good.
It's abusing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I agree, and I think that applies for everything. Just like not even just automation and everything else. You have to have balance, in your life in general. Like you have to balance. The moment you're exaggerating things, you're you're taking that to the extreme and it's losing like the fact of being genuine. Or for example, obviously we use automations to make, to speed up our performance and to kind of solve a problem that we're encountering. But for example, like if I can give you like my own experience as a community manager, whenever we have people joining in, yes, they do get an automated email that I crafted for them. But then after they join, I make an effort and like I make it my goal to get in touch personally with that new member and just like getting to know them, checking in on them. So I guess it's a balance. Like automations need to serve the nitty gritty, like the things that you don't necessarily want to do. But then when it comes to the human side of things, it's down to what kind of person you are.
Well said.
I also think it's I don't know whether anyone else finds it frustrating how much social media channels reward you for the consistency, because human connection and authentic human connection is the best thing. But at the end of the day, they like the extent to which it's just been tried, tested, and proved that consistency and this cadence is going to get you this much further is like almost disincentivizes being a bit more authentic as well. So I always find that like
I totally agree with you, Rachel. Like, I find myself having a lot more disingenuous conversations on LinkedIn with random recruiters than real conversation with friends or family.
No, real conversations definitely for the win. But in terms of like I don't know, like YouTube metrics and things like that, they always say like the more you put out, the more consistently you put it out, the more you're going to feature. The algorithm's going to pick you up. You're going to appear in this, and this place. So I think there's like I definitely don't just disagree with you, but I also think that I think there's a reward system in place in social media platforms in general to get people doing things more regularly and with like a certain frequency as well, which kind of compounds the problem that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it creates a quantity over quality kind of problem, or like where the I guess the main challenge is finding that balance between quality and quantity.
Mm-hmm. Or not falling too victim.
Yep.
Any one way or another. As long as we're on hanger-on questions. I promise I was gonna behave myself and let everyone go, Claudia, but then
Rachel, you know how much I appreciate that and how much I love your inquisitive mind, so please carry on.
I had a question for you, Cole, at the back of my brain for about 17 minutes at this point, but I'm wondering super quickly, if people are heading out as well, what your transition was into being an Airtable consultant. Did you become familiar with the tool within a different job role and then broke free, or was there a different journey path?
Yeah, great question. I love sharing my origin story. So originally, I was a marketer. At first, I went to college for video editing, dropped out after 1 year, and then just started doing freelance videography for people. And then my camera got stolen at some point. So then I realized all I had was my computer to work with, and I didn't really enjoy video editing as much. So I started getting into web design, and that's when I started learning that Facebook ads, is all the popularity right now. So I was one of the guys just trying to become a freelance media buyer. So I was applying to marketing agencies left and right, but they were like, "Oh, have you spent $20,000 a month minimum?" And I'm like, "No," and they wouldn't hire me. So I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna go on my own. I'll start my own thing." So I just kept doing websites, landing pages, and then eventually I had a client ask me to make them a portal, which I was like, "All right, doesn't sound too hard." And then I was just Googling my way, out of it, basically just trying to solve the whole thing. And that's when I found Webflow, MemberStack, Airtable, that whole stack. It was fairly new, and software had maybe been out for 2 months at that point. So I saw that. I kind of speed ran the very, very basics of how to build a portal in software and Airtable. And then I actually had a working portal for that client in about 10 days. And they actually, the portal's for a audio engineering. So while I was building it for him, he was actually just getting customers. So during the time that I was building, he was able to get 12 people to sign up at $100 a month. So by the time we launched, he was at $1,200 MRR, And that's when I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like in like 10 days, like I took this guy from 0 to 12. Like it was just like, it was like a light switch flipped in my brain. And at that point I was like, I'm dropping everything marketing. I'm not doing marketing anymore. I'm a no code guy, specifically Airtable, just because when I found Airtable, it just felt like, wow, like this is the cure to my ADHD, you know, like I don't have to remember everything anymore. I can just put it all right here. And I really just, as soon as I found Airtable, that's when I was like, I just took the dive. And also, when I first found it, I was looking up like, I need help with Airtable, how to learn Airtable experts. And I saw how much the first page of Google results, like how much those Airtable experts were charging. I was like, holy, like they're charging this much for Airtable work? Like, this is crazy. I'm going to do this. And that was about a year and a half ago. And I've only been improving my craft ever since. So when I started, I was very basic. I was only able to really build like a portal, database, and some automations, like nothing script wise or like not super complex or intensive. I was just learning all on the spot with every single project. And yeah, I've just been optimizing and reiterating ever since. So that's kind of been my journey.
Cool. I wonder if the person who stole your camera knows the extent to which your life was transformed by their theft.
Yeah. And I've bought a new camera since then. So, you know, I could go back to the video if I wanted to, but
what goes around comes around. That's fantastic. Really, really great and inspiring, you know, for everyone to learn as well, like from zero, even to go from 0 to 1, or just like making the first step that could really change our lives, and just like, or helping others to do the same. So that's really inspiring. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today and for sharing your story and for, you know, coming and teaching our community. Very, very appreciate that. And please, let's keep in touch. Do stick around. And yeah, for everyone else here, I'm very grateful for you all to be here, for being here today. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next week, next Thursday.
Sweet. Yeah, lots of fun.
All right.
Alrighty.
Well, take care. You all have a fantastic day or evening.
Bye, everyone. Nice
Bye.
meeting all of you.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. And goodbye, YouTube.